Hey, Wanderers.
So, we're here to introduce a new series that we're going to do called PCSing. Welcome back to our PCS series.
If this is your first time here, click above to go back to one of our previous episodes. All right, so you don't move until we have orders, right? So how long do we typically stay at a base?
Okay, so now we're going to start talking specifically about us and our situation. So there's a couple of things that make it unique. Number one, Ron is an officer because he is a chaplain. Like if you meet a chaplain, all chaplains are officers. So that's just something, I don't know why you would need to remember that, but if you want to, you can. Anyway, so we have a unique situation, number one, because the officer side of things, they tend to move more frequently. And so their moving process is always a little bit different than the enlisted side. The second thing is chaplain specific. And so there are a few different agencies that don't fall under like a big squadron thing, and chaplains happen to be one of them. And so they move in a different way. They promote in a different way. And so everything is just kind of unique to chaplains. So in our experience, here's what has happened to us. We were in Colorado Springs for our first assignment, and we thought we were going to just be there for 4 years. They told us the average assignment for officers was 4 years, and they were trying to go to a more four-year thing for officers, where they just were always 4 years to keep people from moving like every year or every 18 months or something. So that's just kind of what we thought. It was our first assignment. You know, we kind of thought that we could trust everything that people said about all of that. We quickly learned, so that's the standard. That doesn't mean, right. That's what they want to get to. It doesn't mean that's what happens. So we got a phone call that said we needed to be at our next location in just 2 months. So that is atypical as well, but we quickly had to do that and get to that assignment. So in total, in Colorado, we were there for
27 months.
So just over 2 years we were there. And then we moved overseas. Now, overseas assignments work different than stateside assignments. When you get to an assignment overseas, you already know when you're leaving. And that's not the case stateside, for the most part.
When you arrive, you get acronym alert, a DROS.
Right.
Date expected return from overseas.
So that's another word or acronym that becomes a verb, and you ask people immediately when you meet them.
That becomes a noun, because
what is your DROS? You ask them immediately when you get overseas, what's your DROS? And so everybody knows when they get there, when they're leaving. So our next assignment was in Turkey, and it was a 2-year assignment. We knew when we got there when we were leaving. However, because things can change, we were in a weird month. Our camera fell over, sorry, take 2. So because we were like an out of cycle move, we had gone over on an emergency placement. Then we were not in the normal cycle of when everybody was PCSing, which normally happens in the summer, and they're actually trying to get away from that and have more people PCS all throughout the year instead of summer being a really big time. However, if you have kids in school, you want to PCS during the summer when your kids are out of school. That just makes sense. So some of us have put on our sheets that since we homeschool, we don't mind when we PCS, so who knows what's going to happen. But anyway, we were in Turkey for just under 2 years because we asked them to knock our time back and let us get back on that summer cycle, and they agreed to do that. So it was just paperwork had to be filled out and approved, and it got approved. And so we moved in the summer. So it was not quite 2 years in Turkey. Then they moved us to Fort Meade, Maryland, which we can talk about that in another time. That's not an Air Force base, as you heard, Fort Meade. Fort gives you a hint that it's got to do with the Army. So we went there, and we were there for 4 years. And we found out in year 3 that we were probably going to be moving. We'll talk about how that happens also. However, we were there for 4 years, and then we got our assignment to Spain. And Spain, again, overseas, so we knew when we arrived we would be staying for 2 years. Now, there are bases, like in Spain, where you get a choice. And also, I said that officer and enlisted stay for different times. That's not what happens overseas. Everybody overseas stays for the same length of time. However, in a place like Spain, you can choose. You can come unaccompanied, or you can come with your family. If you go with your family, you're there for 2 years. Again, it goes back to the military's paying to send all these people over there. And so they want you to stay for 2 years. If you go alone, you stay for 15 months. Is that right?
It was, but that's all those assignments now are 12 months. So all the unaccompanied have gone to 12 months.
Oh, okay. 12 months. I thought, right before I said it, I thought, wait, maybe it was 18 months. Okay, so 12 months. So for 12 months, Ron could have gone by himself to Spain for 12 months. Although, unless there's a situation where you physically can't go to Spain, you choose to go to Spain, people. Everybody, go to Spain. So then after Spain, we came here to Ellsworth. We got our assignment to Ellsworth. And when we move next summer, it will be 3 years that we have been here. And I say summer, I don't really know when we're going.
Give or take a few months.
Right. But it will be 3 years that we have lived here. So that's about how it's worked for us. Our shortest assignment was in Turkey. That was a little less than 2 years. And our longest assignment has been Maryland. That's been 4 years. So I guess the answer is it varies, but that's what our experience has been. So since I said that we got the really fast notification when we were in Colorado that we needed to go to Turkey, what is the typical amount of time that we have before we move?
Well, we can, again, this is speaking officer. I'm not sure on the enlisted side kind of how much notification they have, but typically, if everything works right, you're going to have about 4 to 6 months. Like I said, for the overseas assignments, while you may not know where you're going, you know when you're leaving, so you can gear up for that. Stateside, you're generally going to have, like I said, 4 to 6 months. Now then, you did mention our special case where we had 65 days, and that was because someone couldn't take the assignment they'd been given. They couldn't work through all those things required for the RIP to get ordered. So we got short tasked to head there and to go take care of that. Generally, it's going to be that the idea is going to be 6 months because you're going to have an out processing list to work through with all these things, and there's going to be milestones. And so I remember specifically when we went to Turkey, when we got the RIP, we quickly got the orders established, and then I got the out processing checklist, and the first thing on there was to get the passport started. And that should have happened like 5 months before.
Right. That's a really funny story that we will tell as part of our military moments that will be happening. But that we had never been out of the country, so nobody in our whole family had passports.
Right.
So, anyway.
So you're normally going to have, I would say, at least 4 months, and that's important because you got to figure out, detaching yourself from where you are now, not just professionally but personally. So do you own a house? Are you going to sell, or are you going to rent? Are you renting somewhere and need to break your lease? Do you live on base? And then how does that process work on the other end? Can you get on the housing list before you get there, or does it have to wait till you arrive? And so there's so many things that you need to be able to work out. That time frame is very important. Like I said, that short notice one, by the grace of God, everything got through. But there's some things that just take time to work through the system, and so they have to give you, a decent amount of lead time.
Thanks for watching part 2 of our PCS series.
Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you don't miss any videos.
Bye, guys.